Hey guys, it's Miharu. The Ratchet & Clank games on the PS2 were awesome. They had really cool worlds, great villains, hilarious dialogue, banger soundtracks, and a variety of crazy weapons. Many fans hold the original trilogy and Deadlocked in high regard for these reasons. But now it was the late 2000s, the PS3 was out, and Ratchet was ready to make that jump to next gen. But not before receiving a weird PSP title in February 2007. This was Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. So unlike the other two games I've talked about in this video series, I've actually played this one beginning to end. The first experience I had with Size Matters was actually with the PS2 version, and it was not good. It felt slow, clunky, and had terrible input lag. And those issues are not exclusive to this version, but either way it was borderline unplayable, so I didn't give it another shot until just recently when it was digitally released on PS5. And after abusing the heck out of the save state function, I was finally able to finish it. Anyway, onto the story. We begin with Ratchet & Clank taking a vacation on Poketaru. Before Ratchet can get too comfortable though, he's snapped awake by a camera flash. The photographer is a little girl named Luna, who says she's doing a report on heroes for her school project, and asks Ratchet to beat up some robots so she can get some cool shots.
I am going to regret this.
After that, Clank spots Quark being shady in the corner, and promptly tells him to stop following them and go home to his family. Quark then starts crying and tells him how he never knew his family. He was given up for adoption and raised by monkeys. Nice callback retcon, guys. Clank then suggests he try and search for his real family because that was a subplot we all needed. But back to the main plot, Luna's kidnapped by some robot goons who drop a mysterious artifact which Clank believes to be of technomite origin. By the way, the technomites are the ones responsible for creating most of the technology in the Solana galaxy. They have never been mentioned before and will never be referenced again after this game. Despite Ratchet's attempts to dismiss the claims of the technomites' existence, he and Clank follow the artifact's coordinates to planet Rylus. They leave Quark to his questionable internet searches on the ship's computer and continue on, discovering a technomite map room and the location of planet Caledon, which is where Luna was taken. Upon arrival, Quark tells them he's received a message from FauxFamily.com containing his entire family tree. Excited, he runs off to find them, but not before making this terrifying face which will haunt your nightmares. So after winning a race more broken than the ones in Spyro Reignited, the duo enters a local factory, defeats a monster, and rescues Luna. But something's amiss.
I haven't had a chance to tell my friends about your heroic deeds.
You mean your friends, right?
Ratchet.
Yeah, turns out it was a trap as Luna zaps Clank and knocks Ratchet out, I guess. Clank wakes up in the middle of a war zone on Metalis, and after a very pointless and annoying game of bumper cars, manages to escape and make his way to Ratchet, who is undergoing some kind of surgical procedure on Medical Outpost Omega. While he lies unconscious though, he has a strange dream, bringing us to this fun little sequence. I am not exaggerating when I say this is the single most bizarre thing I've ever seen in a Ratchet & Clank game. Various characters floating in the void, Quark hallucinations, tossing chainsaws, and a giant Clank fight that's literally the equivalent of this. Ratchet is eventually woken up by Clank and the two fight their way through the space station, discovering that Luna is working for the technomite leader Auto Destruct, who seems to have manipulated Quark into believing he's his father. Okay. Anyway, they follow Luna to Danny Moon, where she, in her scary robot voice because she's a robot, explains that the technomites are tired of being taken advantage of because no one knows they exist. So they decided to take Ratchet's DNA in order to create an army of clones so people would finally give them credit for their work? I don't know, this plan is so ridiculous Clank is falling asleep over here. So after defeating Luna and an obligatory journey to the inside of Clank section, featuring Dawn Knotts, they head off to the clone factory, where Otto is waiting with his army of some of the worst enemies I've ever fought in this series. The Emperor then reveals his true plan, which is to use the clones to gather the most intelligent beings in the universe and transfer all their brain power to him via his big evil machine that has no name.
This is just as nonsensical as the other plan.
Cue an absolutely awful final boss fight, Quark learning the truth about his parents, whom Clank somehow recognizes, Otto's intelligence being swapped with Scrunch for the lulz, and that is Ratchet & Clank, Size Matters. While it isn't the worst game in the series, it has too many issues that hold it back from even being considered good. In fact, the only thing I can say I actually like about it is the music, as it still carries the Ratchet & Clank vibe. I think this clip from my stream sums up my feelings best.
It is done. The evil is defeated.
But what do you guys think? Have you played Size Matters? Did you enjoy it? Leave a comment below and let me know. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more casual gaming content, and I will see you next time. Until then, this is Miharu, signing off.